data at rest, in use, and in transit. There are three data states. Each state has a weakness. Securing data in any state requires layers of defense. Data at rest, information on physical media or cloud backups. Hardware that uh, is used by this, you have physical hardware such as hard drives, um, laptops. Those things have the data at rest. So those things are hardware theft is a threat, and unauthorized users also getting into the hardware like laptops is a threat. So the best thing to do is to have full disk encryption, something like BitLocker, um, and also role-based access controls, just like with any type of Active Directory, things like that, that don't allow people to log into the machines. Um, file encryption, definitely the AES 256, BitLocker, and FireVault if you're using Mac, and again, the AWS KMS for cloud. Data in transit, information moving via the internet or private networks, things like email and database queries. Those are things that they have now left the places where they're being stored, and they're now in transit. You have the threats to those things are network eavesdropping and man-in-the-middle attacks, um, essentially to help, tools to help um, secure that would be making use of cryptographic transporting, encrypted tunnels, and authenticated endpoints, um, of VPNs, things like that. You have things that you can use for that. Examples are TLS 1.3, secure internet HTTPS, and of course IPsec VPNs. Data in use, active information in volatile memory and processed by applications. Those are basically your volatile memory is the RAM. The RAM also has caches. The processor has caches and also processor registers. None of these things, as long as they're powered, they will hold the memory, but once they lose power, they no longer have the memory. And so the threats to those things are memory scraping malware, memory dumps, and side channel attacks, which are very interesting because it affects Internet of Things as well. Then you basically the tools to help with that, you want to have strict volatile memory isolation and secure hardware runtimes. Things like for the cloud, for instance, you have confidential computing for like the Intel SGX and AMD SEV. So security must be fluid. Data weaknesses change as the data shifts states. Firewalls are useless at the disk. File permissions don't work when data is moving, and data in RAM is decrypted. So these are all things that you have to take into account, which is why we have those different layers. So protecting those shifts, when it's moving to an at-rest state, you want to focus on data encryption and hardware protection. When it's moving to in transit, you want to focus on things like IPsec and router security. When it's moving to in use, you want to focus on secure enclaves and trusted execution environments. Just remember always data security is dynamic. It'll always be moving. And those are the references. And I thank you and hope you have a good evening.